Grab your favorite alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverage. Do not drink and drive. Sit back and relax and enjoy the latest episode of Why Complain When You Can Whine. Everything in this podcast is for psychoeducational and entertainment purposes only. Welcome to Why Complain When You Can Whine, making sense of the senseless. Join us as we attempt to make sense of toxic nonsense while drinking. Well, it's daytime, so yeah, there's no wine for me today, and I don't think you have wine either.
No.
I could be wrong, but I am drinking my coffee in my Dodgers, go Dodgers, I'm a Dodger fan, mug with a little splash of Amarula. I am Dr. Jodi Larman, licensed clinical psychologist, and I have to say this because it goes with what we're going to discuss today. In the wonderful state of California, I love my state. I know people hate California. It's usually those who can't live in California.
Right.
But yeah, so I had to
Amazing.
say that I'm in California. That's very important.
Mm-hmm. And I am Brianne Burry, Bree Burry, however you like to refer to me as, a licensed therapist up in Vancouver, British Columbia. I don't have anything. I finished my coffee already as we were in the late morning, and I look like a disaster because I feel like one. Because my dog tripped me the other day. I fell, and I have got a nice black eye. So if you are wondering, no, I was not a domestic. No, I am not in an abusive relationship. And not like that. I would ever laugh about something like that. Please don't take that. It just, I didn't get sucker punched. And I don't even have a cool story. Like a bear was attacking me and I like totally throttled the bear and somehow wound up with a black eye. My dog literally pulled me off the sidewalk and I landed on my face.
Your
Anyways,
dog was running after a bear to protect you from
probably a
the bear.
squirrel. Probably a squirrel, and it was dark out, and I was on a sidewalk, and I had the leash clipped to my waist, and I was dumb because and I was looking at my phone and I wasn't paying attention, and all I remember is me just simply landing on the pavement on my face to the side. And I'm like, yeah, that didn't feel good. So here we
You
are.
have a bad headache too.
I did instantaneously because I had a huge hematoma like right on the side of my brow bone. As soon as I got home, I was like, my kids were like, Mom, and I'm like, yeah. And I put ice on it, and I didn't lose consciousness, and I knew it wasn't head trauma because my vision and I wasn't sick and I didn't have any. I just put ice on it. I took some a leave and I went to bed. And I woke up the next day with quite the shiner that only got worse 2 days later. So
Oh gosh.
anyway, here we are.
Yeah, I could still, that just, I get a visceral reaction because it seems like it just hurts so much.
Oh yeah, it didn't tickle. I'm not gonna lie. Like I scraped the side of my face, like it was scraped here and then scraped up here. But yeah, as you can see, it's all bruised. But the blood drains into the eye socket, so it's now just trying to find a way to get rid of all of that.
And then it turns like green and it'll stay like
Hmm.
for a few days
Hmm. All
too.
the stages of the healing of a bruise, yeah.
So today, okay, we did a podcast on how to like defeat or fight a narcissist, and the spoiler is you don't. You don't. If you want to get back at a narcissist, you just leave them alone. You do not talk to them anymore. You go no
Yeah,
contact and you block them if you have to. You just live your life without them.
that's right.
But today we're going to talk about a little bit of an exception on how to needle a narcissist, a specific narcissist, actually. So we are not recommending that you do this. The opposite. We are still sticking with the you ignore, you move on with your life, and you block them. You don't try to get revenge. You don't try to get back at them. You don't try to make them see the light, anything like that.
No,
You just walk away.
that's right.
This is a different case, though,
Mm,
because this narcissist happens to be the president of the United States and happens to be a fascist dictator who's destroying democracy in the United States.
hmm.
So it is impossible to just ignore him and walk away and
Yes, it
let him
is.
continue with what he's doing,
Hmm.
which is kind of what the Democrats have been doing. They haven't been fighting back. When Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high, that's what the
Hmm.
Democrats have been doing. And if anyone has been following Donald Trump and you're not a fan of Donald Trump, but even if you are, you will know that Donald Trump goes low. the conservatives, the Republican parties go low, like swamp low.
Hmm.
So now we have someone in the Democrat Party who's saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to go low too. Now, I believe that sometimes pettiness is a wonderful thing.
Hmm.
And this is one of those cases. So, what I'm talking about is if you are not familiar with what is happening in the United States, it's kind of good on you if this doesn't affect you because it affects like every freaking country in the United States. But if you are,
Every country, every state in the United States?
I'm sorry, every country in the world,
Or
sorry,
every country in the world. Okay, right.
because of the United States.
Right. Yes, it does.
So if you are able to go about your life, I envy you because we in the United States are fucked.
Hmm.
But being in California, we also have the wonderful Gavin Newsom as our governor, who they are now calling Dark Gavin, because Gavin Newsom has taken it upon himself to go low. And I am
Hmm.
here for it with the popcorn every step of the way. So what does that mean though? The Gavin's going low. If you aren't familiar, and again, if you're not from the United States, this might not make sense. But in the United States, there's something called gerrymandering. I'm not going to give you the whole legal definition. It's basically manipulating the voting in in your state to your favor. Like redesigning the districts so that there's more Republicans, there's less people of color, there's, so that you have the favorite in your state. Because since I grew up with this and I am not a government political science major, I was not. I'm not the best as explaining because when you grow up with it, you just kind of know.
Hmm.
So we have districts in every state that certain representatives, this is this representative's district, that representative's district, and it's so many Republicans, so many Democrats, and that district votes for this. And if you have so many, you get so many seats in the House, Senate seats in the House that are going to be Democrat because everybody in that district is going to vote Democrat or Republican. And that's how, like, if you can get more Democrats in the Senate, you're going to balance the Senate in the
Hmm.
Democrats' favor. And same thing with the Republican. Right now, our Senate and our House are in Congress are heavily favored for the Republicans.
Hmm.
But if you can mess around with the boundaries of the districts, which is what gerrymandering does, it messes around with the boundaries and redraws them. So it gives one side over the other favor.
Hmm.
Assuming all of those people in that district who voted, for example, Republican, are still going to vote Republican. Because it can also backfire and they can change their minds and vote a different way. And
Hmm.
then you have this whole district that you thought was going to be yours because of their past way they voted, suddenly switching their votes. It doesn't always go in your favor. Nine
Hmm.
times out of 10, 9.9, it works.
Right.
And it's highly illegal, which is really interesting because gerrymandering is illegal.
Hmm.
And we are supposed to redraw districts. States redraw districts, I think it's every 10 years. Well, Trump called up Abbott, the governor of Texas, and said, get me 5 new seats, 5 more seats in the House or Senate or Congress or whatever. Meaning, redraw your districts so it's all Republicans that will vote Republican. And we can get rid of the Democrats to keep the majority Republican in the House.
Hmm.
They decided to do that. And so California, who has a lot of seats and has, I think, 5 Republican seats total, which is not a lot for the state, he said, oh, you're gonna gerrymander, you're gonna change your voting. If you do that, we will too. It'll be
Hmm.
worse because California has a lot more seats. So we're going to take back anything that you do is going to be undone by California.
Hmm.
But in California, in Texas, legislatures change the districts. without any input from voters. In California, we, I'm sorry, I should know this, how many years ago decided any changes are going to be put to the voters,
Hmm.
not done by the legislature. But the legislature has to agree for it to go to the voters.
Right.
So that's what Newsom did. He sent it to the legislature to redraw the districts. The legislature approved it, and now we're voting on it in November in a special election, whether we want it done. But now here comes the needling and the pettiness and the going low. Gavin Newsom has taken, Trump goes on Truth Social all the time, and we all have seen, you've seen the way that he tweets or Truth Socials or whatever it's called, all caps, making fun of people, going off on tangents, big, beautiful everything, best in the world everything, best ever seen everything. You've seen those tweets, right? Or
Everybody has, yeah.
social, true socials. Well, now Gavin Newsom's social media team has done the same. They are fighting fire with fire. And I'm going to give you an example of one of the tweets that says, Donald Trump, the lowest polling president in recent history. This is your second to last warning. The next one will be the last. Stand down or California will counter-strike legally to destroy your illegal crooked maps in red states. Press conference coming, hosted by America's favorite governor, Gavin Newsom. Final warning. Thank you for your attention. Oh, final warning next. You won't like that. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Because Trump always says, thank you for your attention to this matter, or did until now. And then he signs it GCN,
Mhm.
or Gavin Christopher Newsom, which Donald Trump signs his DJT.
Mhm.
He's been doing that. Newsom has been sending out tweets like every day. Let's see. Let me find some other ones. I had a whole bunch too. Donald Tiny Hands has written his autobiography this morning. Unfortunately, low IQ. He spelled it wrong. Beta. Soon you will be a fired beta because of my perfect, beautiful maps. Thank you for your attention to this matter. GCN.
Mhm.
Trump sent out a True Social at like 2 in the morning or something that just said beta. 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 It's like
Hmm.
Confifi from last time. Do you remember when
Mhm.
he Truth Socialed or tweeted Confifi?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is now he did beta.
Hmm.
That's it, just beta. So Newsom's been doing this repeatedly every day, over and over. Um, Donald Trump has been quiet, letting all of his little flying monkeys speak. Fox News, all the conservatives are fuming at how Gavin Newsom is so unprofessional. How dare he send these unprofessional tweets?
Mhm.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, it's only Donald Trump that's allowed to be so unprofessional.
Yeah. Here's another one. Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Governor Newsom, your favorite governor. That will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. GCN.
Well, here's the thing. Is it fighting fire with fire, really, when all he's doing is just standing up for to Trump?
Well, it's the way he's standing up to Trump because
Yeah, it's
one,
the way, yeah, of course. Well, he's just mirroring his language.
yes. So how do you get, and again, I want to stress this, please don't do this to your ex who was a
Oh,
narcissist.
mm.
Please do not do this to any narcissist. This is
Well,
different
right. And why? What's the like, why is it different?
because he is the president and in power and destroying the country and the world. And so he has to, we can't sit back and ignore him. It's
No.
too damaging.
Well, because he's a dictator and he's gonna ruin the well, he's ruining the country
Yeah.
and he's ruining the world and he's putting everybody else at stake for war, and it's terrifying. Um, but again, with a narcissistic ex or a person, you can say whatever you want. You can go back and fight fire with fire. You can mirror and use language and whatever. Just don't have any expectation of it going anywhere. Or or have an expectation of a certain outcome because you won't get what you're looking for necessarily. If you want to be patronizing and you want to be condescending and you want to be passive aggressive, go right ahead. Will it will it solve whatever? Like, you have to know what the intent is behind the action. So why would you be doing it? Again, narcissists feed off any kind of attention that they can get. So if you're doing it because you think that you're getting vindicated in some way or validated, you're not. It may be clever, it may be witty, you may think it's funny, but right? Just don't have the expectation that you're going to have the last say or that you're going to get anything from it. Will it help you with your healing? I don't know. Some people, they like standing up for themselves or they feel that they're standing up for themselves. But again, with a narcissist or somebody who's pathological in that regard, it often backfires and it doesn't, you're not going to get what you want.
No. And you may even get more harmed by it
Yeah.
because you're going to send them into a narcissistic
Narcissistic
rage.
rage. Yeah. So be prepared, right? You're dealing with this is why people are scared of Trump. This is why you were losing your democracy. There's no democracy and you've lost your constitution completely. Is because he's got all of those people in his back pocket, not just with money and being corrupt, but they're fearful. The guy doesn't fight. Honestly, he fights dirty and he scares people and they know he has power and they know that he can do shit.
And the thing is, he is in a position that can be very, very dangerous if
Mm.
someone doesn't stand up, if we all don't stand up to him.
Well,
Most
yes.
narcissists, because of all their flying monkeys, and that is another thing, is he's got a shit ton of flying monkeys.
Mhm.
But most narcissists are going to, including him, will fall eventually. Like
That's
all,
why you need the collective to stand up to him together, not just an individual. If you guys, this is again civil war. Where do you think to overthrow a government, you have to have the entire collective gain enough strength and power and I guess you could say authority to overthrow the dictator or the one person who seems to hold all the power.
and he has the way that he's fighting back because it says he's launched a full-blown parody campaign that mimics the president's signature social media rants and even using AI generated images to mock the GOP and Trump supporters. The thing is, he is not doing it. How do I put this? If you or I were to do it to our ex, we're doing
Mm,
it to our ex directly. He
mm,
is doing it, Newsom, to the masses. Like I am
mhm.
not, yes, I am addressing Donald Trump, little tiny hands, blah, blah, because I know
Well,
he's
it's a public
this.
platform. This is a public platform. This is to the
Exactly.
world. This has
So
got a global stage. This is calculated. This is
yeah,
intentional.
he is not going, he's going toe to toe, but he's not directly, Donald, you're an idiot. Because that's going to be even worse. This is more of a, I'm just putting this shit out there. I'm just talking. I'm
Mm,
just making these posts. Are they going to piss you off? Yeah. Do I know it? Of course I do.
mhm, mhm.
But like you and I, we could put anything we want on Facebook or Twitter or whatever and hope that our ex sees it if we're going to do that against them.
Right, the passive aggressiveness. Yeah. Nah, it's best just to hold silence speaks volumes. And this is why the Democrats usually go high, Republicans go low. They pride themselves on their silence speaks volumes or, no response is a response. It's not worth their time. It's not worth there's you know they're all about their intellectual and emotional maturity, whereas when you're petty and patronizing and catty, it shows your immaturity, right? It's better just to disengage because then you're not giving and you're not feeding the fire. You're diffusing it. I actually, it's interesting saying that. I watched an interview with Kamala um, Harris and uh, what's the dude that got kicked off the late night show? Why can't I think of his name?
Stephen Colbert
Stephen Colbert.
or Jon Stewart?
No, Stephen Colbert.
Okay.
Glasses. Uh, and he interviewed her and she hasn't been in the public eye since the election. Really, she's been pretty quiet. And people are questioning how come she's not fighting back. And she's like, it's not, I haven't given up the fight. It's not about giving up the fight. It's that the United States that I believed in, I've always been a public servant. And right now, unfortunately, again, she's speaking to the lack of constitution and the United States that she knows. It doesn't exist anymore, and there is no point. I can't keep going up against something that doesn't exist. It's just falling on nothing. And so um, she's now divulging all of her time and entrenching herself with the public, listening to the people, listening to what they're suffering and what they're struggling with, learning, observing, intertwining yourself with the general public. She's like, as I have always been a public servant, this isn't about me giving up a fight. I'm all about a fight. It is knowing when and how. And right now, we are so broken as a country
Yeah.
that and there's no constitution. It's like you're going up against nothing. And I was like, well said. It's so true.
This is unprecedented in the United States. I mean, this
Uh-huh.
is why go watch Hamilton. If you don't know history of the United States, watch Hamilton. We fought against this. We fought to be away from the king and
Hmm.
and not have a king. That's why we had a no kings march. And there hasn't been as many protests like the National Guard went into Washington, D.C., and there hasn't been a lot of public protests. And I was reading an article about, well, why is that? And people are saying because now that's not what's getting things done. It's the more grassroots,
Hmm.
getting down to nitty gritty of individual people doing these things collectively, not protesting, but doing these little mini
Hmm.
protests at the right places,
Hmm.
like going to the congressperson's, what is it, town halls and things like that,
Hmm.
and asking them directly questions or pointing out things or um, door to door stuff like that, using social media, but the big massive protests is actually what they want. That's
Hmm.
why the National Guard, there's crime rates have been down in
Hmm.
Washington, D.C. and in a lot of blue states, it's down. So he
Hmm.
sent them there, and people are like, he wants you to protest. He wants to be able to go in there and cause chaos and cause, which is what he did in LA with the no kings and all of that, the immigration. It was fine until they came and started instigating and creating these things that weren't there before. So he wants people to protest so he can make them violent
Hmm.
and then say, see what I did? See how lawless
Well,
these people are?
again, create the fight, find the solution, right?
Yeah. And
Create
that's
the problem,
what
and
he's been
then
doing.
right, and then constantly be the one that provides the solution. Like again, it's mass manipulation. Um, it's interesting because Canada, we fall under, we're a Commonwealth country, and we fall under the British monarchy, right? So we do have a king, but here's the thing.
He's a figurehead.
Monarchies are not what monarchies used to be, okay? They don't exist like that anymore. There's no narcissism. Like King Charles, which was Queen Elizabeth for like ever since I was born and before, um, kind, lovely people. They don't hold power. They let the countries do. There's a general rule of thumb, right? That we all adhere to because it creates a cohort of safety. That's all it does. It's not about taking power and being in control. We're not living in the 17th century or the 16th century with King Henry VIII, who is a tyrannical, fucking dictator, psycho sociopath who killed his wives. We don't live, it doesn't exist anymore. But Trump is that.
Hmm.
Trump is King
Yeah.
Henry VIII. No different.
Well, here's the difference.
Okay.
Money,
Well,
money.
money.
And that's
Well,
why it's even worse because yes, they had money and
Mhm.
jewels and gold and all that then, but
Mhm.
they didn't have the
No,
Supreme Court
no,
where he can buy and sell the Supreme
no,
Court. They don't have oligarchs
no.
where now we have these big billionaires.
Yeah.
Judges aren't even following the rule of the law. It's like, okay,
This
that
is
is
why I'm saying your constitution is shit
yep.
because this is the United States and this is every other country around the world knows. You
Yeah,
pride yourself on your amendments and your constitution. It's what is your foundation and your structure to your sovereignty, to your national
yeah,
everything, your country
yeah.
and your belief system. And now that's gone. It no longer exists, and everything is one big contradiction. And
And
so,
yeah. No, I was just
yeah.
like, Trump even said that he is the ultimate law enforcement. He is the pinnacle, the top law enforcer in the United States.
Mhm.
That's why we
I
have
know.
executive, judicial, and legislative branches, and they're supposed to
Yeah.
be separate.
Yeah, exactly. And that there is somebody that does have more power than the US president, and now that's gone away. But if you, it's interesting because Jim Jeffries, who's an Australian comedian, and I know everybody knows who he is, he's pretty crass, he's pretty crude, and he's very funny. He does a whole skit or a whole show parody on US gun control or lack thereof. And it's so fucking brilliant because you've got the people in the audience and the people who are, but it's my Second Amendment, it's my Second Amendment, it's my Second Amendment right, it's my blah blah blah. And he's like, amendment. Do you know what the word amendment means? Change. It can be amended. It can be amended. But yet it's the Second Amendment rights, my again, contradictory, no logic, no sense. He nails this skit. It's so brilliant. So
And
brilliant.
Second Amendment, we're not even saying you can't have guns. It's register the fucking guns.
Hmm.
You have to get a driver's license to drive.
Hmm.
You have to get a
But
marriage
again,
license to get married.
I exactly,
You just
but
go to
amendment
fucking Walmart and some of these places
exactly.
and
But
buy
when
one.
people are dying in masses, I think his point to the amendment is like change the fucking amendment. When
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, it's my Second Amendment," it's like, yeah, but it's an amendment. It's meant to be changed. Where they're like, they can't. It's the Second Amendment. Am I right? It's like, but an amendment can change.
You know what's really sad and scary? I just
But
saw someone posted a video for back to school
mhm,
about their backpack being, bulletproof, their notebook being Kevlar, this can do that. And, it's a commercial to say the ridiculousness of why do we not have gun laws?
mhm.
But again, the thoughts and prayers
Oh, I know.
work so well.
Just pray. Just pray.
I mean, you could pray away the gay, right? So you should be able to pray away any gun violence.
And pray away an ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah.
And pray away, sepsis from not having a DNC, which is an abortion. Pray away because
Yeah.
it seems to work, right?
Yep. I mean, women have literally been dying because they cannot get care after a miscarriage.
I fucking can't. Again, it's going back in time. We are going back in time. The US is going back in time. The only fucking
Oh
country in
yeah.
the world is going backwards. So, what the purpose of Newsom and what he's doing? What do you think the end result is going to be here with this guy and and the purpose of what he's what's the outcome? What do you predict the outcome to be?
Well,
Thank you.
what the buzz is he's trying for everybody's like Newsom 2028. I mean, people wanted him to run for president before, but this is like really putting him in, and he can't be governor anymore. He's term limited out. So people are saying this is a push for presidency, which, okay, fine. I'll do that. But in the long run, like, because Trump doesn't have anyone pushing back, really, no one's pushed back. As a matter of fact, countries have been like, oh, yes, don't tariff us and we'll recommend you for the Peace Prize.
Mm,
Mr. President? Yeah, okay, that's peaceful. Here, Mr. President. Look, we're giving you this golden goose so that you don't put tariffs on us, Mr. President. No one has fought back. And with a narcissist like Trump, no one's fighting back. They're feeding him.
Oh,
And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So now he's got someone saying, I'm not going to bend a knee. What the fuck are you gonna do?
exactly.
Because people have tried that on his end. Republicans that used to be on his team and now they're against him and all that. And he's systematically arresting them, indicting them, searching their houses because they just searched the former national security advisor, something like that. I don't really pay attention because they're all Republican, and it's like he used to be part of Trump's. So sorry, people. Used to be part of Trump's inner circle, and now he's not. And now suddenly they've raided his house to see if he has. He wrote a book against Trump, so they're seeing if he's exposing anything. He's weaponized the judicial system. Big time
Yeah.
weaponized the judicial system.
Of course he is, because that's where he can remain in power and nobody can take it.
Which, again, as a narcissist, a lot of people, and I don't blame at all whatsoever, because when I worked in the prison, I fought and fought and fought against our chief, who's a raging narcissist. But then once I left, I continued the fight for a little bit, and then I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to deal anymore. I don't want him in my life.
Hmm.
So I let it go. And that's what a lot of people do. Like, I don't fucking want to anymore.
Mm.
So it's hard because you get people that I'm not saying bend a knee ever, but you get people that just become like, I'm sorry, but like Kamala, it's like, I'm not going to fight like that anymore. Or like Biden and Obama and stuff, they're being very quiet. Now, they may be doing things behind the scenes, but they're being
Mm.
very quiet. No one has spoke out. So you've got these extremes.
Hmm.
You bend a knee or you be quiet.
Hmm.
Or you face him like Trump or like Gavin Newsom is doing.
Hmm.
Because bending a knee isn't working. Well, it's working for Trump. Being quiet isn't working, although
Hmm.
it's working for the people who are being quiet because Trump's not coming after them. Because as soon as you say something like Letitia James, the one in New York that prosecuted him,
Hmm.
now he's going after her.
Hmm.
Anybody he's going after the Smith, the special counsel, anyone against him, he's going after.
Of course, and he will. This is
Yeah.
exactly why people are not going up against him.
Yeah.
But
So now
let people let him prosecute. Like fuck.
yeah,
That's what it's gonna take. Everybody's gonna have to do the same thing. He can go after everybody, but again, something's gotta give.
unless you come in the masses, and
And the masses, the collective. Yeah.
that's what Newsom is doing. He's doing it in such a way that he's getting the masses behind him. He's
Exactly.
doing it in a way, and if you want to get back at a narcissist, this is what you do. You don't send texts and stuff like that. That's not what I mean. But you get the people behind you to see that you're not the bad guy.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
you do it by not being the bad guy.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like he hasn't done anything. Republicans will say it's unprofessional, but he hasn't done anything that's been nefarious. He hasn't said you're a stupid piece of shit. He's just mirrored what Trump is doing.
Well, oh, and he's standing up and he's publicly speaking the way that, like, we'll watch a debate. It's not any different other than the fact that he's just mirroring the language that he's signing off on in his trademark bullshit speech, like, or the liter literacy, like how he's conveying himself, how he's articulating himself. He's mirroring that, but he's not saying anything like he said nefarious or being, swearing or being inappropriate with this type of language. Yet Trump, right? Oh, all the beautiful girls and the river, and then the Mexicans and the blatant derogatory racism, sexism, misogyny, pedophilia, paraphilic behavior. What the fuck? And he gets away with it, right?
Yeah.
So the irony that all the Fox News and all the magas and all it's so unprofessional he's saying and blah blah blah, but where's the unprofessionalism in Trump's bigotry and racist comments and paraphilic comments or insinuating, young, beautiful girls, like pervertedness. But nobody's sitting there going, "Hey, Mr. Donald Trump, this is really unprofessional of you to speak in this language," because everything he says and everything that comes out of his fucking mouth is unprofessional.
And so many times, I cannot tell you when reporters are interviewing Trump, and it's not just me. I will see videos, I will talk to people. We're all like, why are the reporters not calling him out? There will be one or two that will call him out, but when he says a blatant lie, why are they not calling it out?
Hmm. Well, because of the public scrutiny. Like, I mean, again, Trump's going to turn around and be like, you're nasty. You're nasty. You know what? You can go. This
You're the,
interview's over.
you're
Stop.
the worst
Stop.
reporter
You're the
ever.
worst reporter. You can just leave, get out, and then I'm guarantee the people that are doing it, unless they really don't give a shit, there's a level of fear of their reputation and how they're going to be scrutinized by the public because
Mhm.
Trump dumps all over them, right? So this is exactly it takes people that don't care if people come after them, that don't care if they get prosecuted, trusting the end result will end in not injustice, and that enough people come at the same time that creates a collective where it's impossible for people to turn a blind eye anymore.
And since Newsom in California, and again, you get people, it is everyone that I know, there's one person that's a Democrat that she doesn't care for Newsom. But most of the people that I know, except for her, they
Mm,
all love Newsom except for Republicans. Republicans,
obviously.
MAGA can't stand Newsom. They
Of
blame
course.
Newsom for everything that they put on Biden. And then now that Biden's gone, they won't put it on Trump. So they put it on Newsom, all of that. Otherwise, Newsom has they've tried to recall him twice, and
Mm,
both times he's revoted and just obliterated the recalls. So Newsom is also popular. That's another thing. He's not somebody who people hate, so no one's going to back him up. He is a very popular governor,
mm.
and he's attractive. He's not unattractive by any means. So there's so many people I see women all over TikTok being like, "Be my governor." Oh my God. So that does work in his favor in the popularity contest. But because he had,
Not for the right reasons, though. Who cares
well,
what you like?
no, but I'm saying if you get someone that's popular, like
Oh,
Newsom,
yeah.
that's another reason why it works.
Oh, of course.
So if you had someone that nobody liked as a governor, like Abbott, no one can stand him, or DeSantis, no one can stand him. So they're not going to get the backing. And I know they're Republican. I'm just saying they're not liked by a lot of people. Even
Mm,
in Florida, I know a lot of people that are Republican that don't like DeSantis.
mm.
So
I have
because,
a client that knows, unfortunately, uh, her ex-husband and lawyer and different people in her world love him.
oh, really?
Oh, they're Republican, but yeah,
Uh,
gross.
because like here's another thing. This is what Trump in response is saying things like, the governor is incompetent. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit and doesn't get the job done. And Newsom's response was such low energy, sad. And then
Mhm.
he said, Gavin Newsom is way down in the polls. He is viewed as the man who is destroying the once great state of California. I will save California, President DJT. And he responded by saying, triggered. That was it. So he's not, his clapbacks are not, again, directed at him, if that
No,
makes sense. It's to the world.
to the
Like, oh,
world. Well,
he's
that's
such
what
a
I'm saying.
bad.
This is the reason why it's not your stereotypical um, passive aggressive behavior you get back to a narcissist. There is a purpose behind this. It's very specific, and it's on a global platform, which is to the world, not directed towards Trump. It's to garner that collective that you're talking about.
It says the point is to make the point about what's going on in this country. You have the president of the United States that's acting like a child, and you've got the chatbots on Fox that repeat 24/7 and are weaponizing his grievances, attacking vulnerable people, and traumatizing communities. He's also delivering a broader call to action aimed at his fellow Democrats. We need to stand up, all of us at this moment. Less judgment, more fortitude. Meet this moment, not for ourselves, but for each other, for this country. So again, he's needling Trump knowingly on purpose,
Mhm.
but he's doing it like, again, passive aggressive, but not at Trump. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not at Trump. It's to the global, it's again, it's to the people, the MAGAs. And they're getting all fired up, of course, right?
Yeah, it's working. So if you want to needle a narcissist, you don't go after the narcissist.
Hmm. You go after everybody around the
Yeah,
narcissist. Yeah.
yeah. And not in a way that he's not,
Well, here's the deal. How about you just speak the truth? Again,
that's what
so
he's doing.
and that's what he's doing. So again, the best way and the only people that have a problem with you speaking the truth are the people that have caused you harm. So with my ex, for example, and Jodi and I were just talking about this before we started this video. I mean, we both have narcissistic people in our past. Um, is when you go and speak your truth, they're the ones that seem to have a huge problem with it, right? All you're doing is telling the truth to the people, and people start going, "Oh." Oh, I didn't know that about him. Oh, that's not very good. Oh. And then they come back and they're like, "Meh, defamation of character and slander and blah," which isn't true because you're just telling the truth. They're the only ones that have the issue with it. So all this Newsom, all he's doing is telling the truth. It's not slander. It's not defamation. It's not anything. It is the truth. Unfortunately, the MAGAs are going to continue to deflect and willful blindness,
And
right?
the way that it's getting attention, the reason it's getting attention is because he's using the language of the
Yeah.
narcissist.
Of the narcissist. He's mirroring him, and that's what's getting the attention. Because if he wasn't using that, would people
No one
really
would
care?
care. Yeah.
No.
If he
But
just
this
said
is the thing.
Donald Trump,
Because Trump is all about a celebrityism. Wants to be in the limelight. Everything is for shock value. Half the shit that comes out of his mouth, the more severe it sounds, the more attention he gets. Not positive attention, but it's attention.
yeah.
So again, Gavin mirroring back is creating a louder statement to the world, to the country, to the people. If he was simply just saying his stuff and speaking his truth, speaking the truth of 99.9% of the population, um, it wouldn't have the same impact and it wouldn't hold the same weight. But because he is mocking Trump, he's mocking him, he's mirroring Trump's signature bullshit language. That's why people are like, ooh, entertainment. Ooh, it's like
Yeah.
watching TV. Ooh,
And we're rooting for the right guy.
right? And
So
this is
you,
what people do, shock value.
yeah.
What, think about it, the mind of a 12-year-old boy. Okay, let's go into child development for just a second here. What to 11 to, well, even younger, maybe 10 to 14-year-old boys do with each other? They try to one up each other. They're all about
You
bravado.
stopped at
They're
14. I think it
all,
stops at
is it like 20 something? Well, I'm just
no, it never
my
stops. It's
daughter
always
went
running up.
through something where, again, and you could see the blatant development within boys at 12 years old was how harsh can I sound to my friends? How grotesque and and horrible can I sound for shock value? Because then I'm one-upping everybody. It's my ego. I need to be seen as the alpha. I need to be the harsher I sound, the cooler I look, the more accepted I'll be. Right? Yeah.
But that's obviously it goes on until you're 79, 80, whatever is what.
If you don't fucking grow up,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you, that's where that was again, juvenilism. That's what narcissism is. It's arrested development. Stunted. 5-year-old trapped inside of a fucking 79-year-old's body, whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it. But again, it's that shock value. And it's enter because they think they are entertaining everybody. And somehow we eat this shit up as the public. the more, oh my God, I can't believe they said that. Oh my God, can you believe so and so? It's like nobody has anything better to do with their time than to be entertained by fucking bullshit and shock value. Again, shock, shock, shock. Oh, it's what keeps us sort of going as a society in a weird, fucked up
Yeah.
way.
Well, look at social media.
Exactly, but this is my point. Look at a 12-year-old boy. He's got to show up in front of his friends. Shock value. The more misogynistic and offensive I can sound, the cooler I am.
Well, they're the ones that grow up to be the Charlie Kirks,
Well, yeah, of course.
Andrew Tates.
Yes, Andrew Tate's, but if they don't grow out of that, and then we've got that there's the narcissism, therein lies the problem. But somehow we eat this shit up. It's gross. I'll use an example of that stupid fucking show. What was it? The reality TV when this started coming out. And I was like, and it's not real. They hire actors. It's not really reality, but they base it on what they call reality. And then everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, it's not real. This is for entertainment. Entertainment. Why are we as a society, are we entertained by disturbing shit
Mhm.
and dysfunction because our own lives are boring,
I was gonna
because
say
we
because
don't
it
have
mirrors
anything?
also,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Why? We get it. So what was that show called? Honey Boo Boo.
Oh God.
But it was this, again, trailer park, low class, fucking below blue
Yeah.
collar, poverty stricken American family in the South. We're eating sketty for dinner, which is noodles and fucking ketchup with butter. Oh,
Oh,
just the
geez.
level of decrepit, and people are like, uh, ex-boyfriend's ex-wife, let's watch Honey Boo Boo. And I'm like, ew. God, what does that say about you? How is that entertaining? But I think again, it's the shock value that people live like that.
And also, someone else's life is more fucked up than mine.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, but they get something out of this. Whereas like, okay, it's more fucked up, but why is this entertaining me? So again, stage, platform, Trump, entertainment. He's all about entertainment.
Yeah, well, yeah, until he starts doing
Oh,
all
but again, now he's our president.
that.
He's your president, not ours. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucked up.
Not yours yet. He
Well,
wants
not
to
yeah, well,
make,
no,
he
it is.
wants
It's
to,
very much our reality around the
yeah.
world. It's affecting us. Look at the tariffs.
Well,
Fuck, it's
he
fucked.
stopped
Everything is
talking about
fucked.
taking over Canada for now, but he's,
Nobody did. And I mean, again, why do you think well, everybody went liberal again, which we would have
yeah,
gone conservative? But that's because Trump threatened our sovereignty.
yeah.
And so everybody was like, fuck, Carney is the only one that can deal with Trump. Polyev is like Trump. We can't have that guy in power. Like it, yeah, no. So, I mean, anyway, I'm
Well,
digressing.
just like with Newsom, I think another reason this works is because we have been since January waiting for someone to say something.
Well, yes, because nobody's standing up. Everybody's like, where are they? Where are they? But again, Kamala made a really good point. I can't go up against a country that doesn't exist to the one that I know anymore. It's not what it was. It's not what it should be. It's not what it stands for. Everything is now a contradictory to what we're supposed to be.
Okay, but then what do you do? What do? You just let it happen?
Well, that's what Joubert was saying, or Stephen Colbert was saying, sorry, was like, but we need somebody to fight for the country. We need somebody to stand up. And she's like, it's not that I'm giving up a fight, but you can tell there's strategy behind what she's doing. There's sort of you know, where do you show up and how do you show up? You want to talk about the collective that we've been talking about this whole podcast, building a collective. I think that was what she was sort of insinuating and leading to was that she's going around to the public and
Well,
talking to the people and garnering and gaining perspective on where they sit and where they feel and what needs to happen in their perspective. There, again, it's observation. Without observation, right? There needs to be strategies in place. And how do you strategize when your whole gravitate, like your whole center and foundation is no longer existing? Your constitution no longer exists. That's her point. And if you don't have your constitution, what the fuck do you have? Nothing.
but did you ever read Atlas Shrugged?
No.
Now, people, for some reason, I love that book. And I've been seeing people like, oh, these are the books I would never talk to someone if I knew that they were their favorite books. And one of them was Atlas Shrugged. And I don't know why, but I read it twice. Now, Atlas Shrugged, they were, what is it called? It's an allegory, but for the US and Russia at the time and monopolies and stuff like that. And at one point, all the magnificent minds in the United States were disappearing. They
Hmm.
were just gone. All the scientists, the doctors, the professionals, the magnificent minds were gone. And people are like, with all this going on, where are they? And they had gone into not hiding, but they were underground, forming a collective to be able to work together to take this back.
Yeah.
Part of it. That was
Yeah.
part of the book. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, maybe that's happening here. Maybe that's why we're not hearing from anybody. Maybe
Well, again,
because
something's gonna give. I mean, it can't stay, and if it does, then the whole fucking globe is gonna crumble. Like, we're gonna be in a massive fucking war because no other country around the world is going to tolerate the bullshit coming out of the US. Canada won't, fucking all of Europe won't. It just won't happen. Like something will get, something has to give. We just have to wait and see what that is.
and I think part of that is Gavin Newsom
Yeah.
because he
So,
shook up the status quo of, or it's not the status quo, but what has become on the right the
yep,
status quo.
yep.
And
Well, he's
we've
shaking it
needed
up.
somebody to
Yeah.
shake it up.
Yeah, and he's shaking it up, and that's exactly what needs to happen.
Want
Absolutely
to be
fucking.
underground and be in a
Yeah.
collective and form. And if you're doing that, see, this is a thing that irritates me though with Kamala and that because so many news articles, people are like, where the hell are you guys? Where the hell are you when all of this shit is happening? This illegal shit, and it's been crickets. So
Mhm.
if you are planning or doing or forming or fighting, say something.
Yeah, but what? But you can't if you've got you can't. Because if there is some sort of formulated whatever, again, if they make it public, it could backfire. If there really is a strategy, and let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that there is, there's a reason why they're crickets. And people just have to be patient, right? I get it because you're frustrated, you want to know, you want to hear, you want people and to be given hope. But again, when you're going up against what's happened within the US and that your constitution has literally fallen out from underneath you, they have to be smart about how they come back and do this. And so I'm going to just hold faith that, and give them the benefit of the doubt that the reason why they are crickets, it's because there's a specific reason, there's a purpose for it. Because again, coming out, you've got an entire platform you're going out towards. You speak too soon, too quick, shit can go, it can backfire.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows what that is. Nobody knows what their plan is. Nobody knows what, if there is one, if there isn't. Nobody knows, but if there is, there is always a reason and a strategy as to why. Democrats aren't stupid, they're smart.
Well, okay, this is, let me tell you, and maybe this is it, the summary of Atlas Shrugged. The innovators go on strike and disappear, forming their own hidden society with their plan is to rebuild society better
Right.
because society it's now dystopian because of the government, because of the policies. The economy collapses under the collective government policies, forcing productive entrepreneurs to disappear. So it's a lot like what's happening today in some respects with the government creating a dystopian future. And I know everybody says Handmaid's Tale, which I will not watch because I'm living it. So why do I want to see it
Yeah,
on
totally.
TV? But if there is a collective, and this is what I've been talking to my friend too, I hope that there's a they're making a collective society to come out and do something. But we
Mhm.
still need, and that's why whether Newsom planned this, whether Newsom is a part of this, or it's just a separate entity thing, whatever, it's what we needed though. It's
Yeah.
what we needed because let's say that they are doing something collectively.
Hmm.
And we don't know. Meanwhile, we have the National Guard going, he said he's going to be sending it to 19 states, the National Guard. Somebody wrote that the list was, they're all red states. Now, I don't know if that's true. They put the list out and it is all red states, and I don't know if that's true or not. But why are they just sitting back and watching this? Now, if it's red states, honestly, I don't care because that's his own people that voted for this. I feel for the ones that didn't. But otherwise, why, at what point though are you going to sit back and watch the Constitution get totally, completely destroyed? Because it's not obliterated yet, but it's
Close.
close.
Pretty fucking close. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I mean people need to have a sense of who is fighting for us and who's whatever, but there's
Yeah,
got to be, and so maybe Newsom is, and here's the thing, if he's come out and he's separate from this plan, or if there is a plan in place, they have to be able to figure out and navigate where to
around.
go from there
Yeah.
around it, right? If he wasn't part of it, then that probably sets them back a little bit as to okay, how that can impact. Who knows? All I know is I choose to have faith that something is going to come out of the woodwork here at some point.
Yeah, we have to. And we have to hope and pray and keep our fingers crossed that on November 4th, Californians come together, which, according to all the social media stuff that I see, everybody is for it, of course, except for the conservatives. But
Right.
we're a blue state, thank goodness. But I hope it passes
Yeah.
resoundingly,
Fingers crossed.
because if it does not, we are never going to get out of this in our lifetime, I don't think.
Yikes. On that note,
On that note, we will be back.
we
One
will be back.
way or another, we're going to be back.
If you
Uh,
guys have comments or questions or anything regarding this lovely topic, please post below. Uh,
like, follow, share, comment,
mhm.
comment,
All the
please
things.
comment.
All the things.
And we will see you
Soon.
hopefully, because we plan to be here.
Yes,
Yeah. That's the plan.
we do.
So,
Yes. On
till
that note,
next
happy
time,
Saturday, everyone. Until
take
next
care.
time, we will see you soon. Bye.